The John Wick franchise returns with a spin-off, so today I thought it was time for me to stop and talk about Ballerina. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion, and my name is SW Nation, and you're free to comment down below. What did you think of Ballerina? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Comment that down below in the comment section. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter and that TikTok link. Those are in the description, and without further ado, let's get right into our review.
How do I start doing what you do?
Looks like you already have.
I think the John Wick universe has a lot going for it these days, so with that being said, let's move right into the good. And the good thing that comes to mind here is that this is a true John Wick spinoff where the world is a living, breathing universe where characters that previously interacted with John Wick are now interacting with this new character who's just a blast to be around. She's awesome, she's violent, she's cool. Ana de Armas, I mean, she's an incredible performer, but also she just exudes a lot of star power inside of this film. What I love about the film, first and foremost, is how everything feels distant and different, but also very connected, where it doesn't even need John Wick's appearance, but his presence is felt all over the film because it takes place between 3 Parabellum and 4. What's also so interesting is how different this character fights, whereas John has a style that is mainly up close and brute force like, usually being able to overpower almost any opponent he comes up against. Well, here we're dealing with a woman that's under at least 150 pounds. So realistically, she can't overpower someone. So she uses her being a woman to her advantage. They say it inside of the film. They say a line like, fight like a girl. I know a lot of teeny boppers. I know a lot of red pillars or a lot of Sigma males. I know a lot of those guys are going to just be like, oh my God, what are we doing with the John Wick franchise? They're making it like, you know, female centric and stuff, even though there have always been badass women inside of the franchise, which makes it even better because anybody can be in this field of work, not just grown men. So I love the fact that this character, they say inside of the film, fight like a girl. Use the fact that you're a girl to your advantage, and in some cases you do have the upper hand if you are the woman, whether that's speed or flexibility. With this character, she was able to use their body weight against them. In terms of action sequences, again, they do a great job of stylish, well choreographed sequences. I think it's about time that we start talking about this franchise being probably the best action franchise, in my opinion, because I watched all 4 movies before I watched this one, and I mean, the action just kept getting better and better and better. Whether you're talking about that sequence in John Wick 4, where they're driving around in circles and you don't even know the camera trick of how they did that, or they're just lighting people on fire and the shot just keeps going in a one take. I mean, this franchise has always had big explosive action, and this movie is just no different. It's all thrilling to me. I would love to see the film minus the extra action scenes that they added in, because I can't imagine what the film would be like without most of these sequences. They add so much to the film, but it's also just very cool to see. Again, this character is a very violent character, and in some cases it's more bonkers and more violent than the John Wick films, and I love that about it. In certain ways, John Wick is able to stun his enemies to the point where he doesn't really have to kill them, but he does because he really wants to. In terms of this character, there's just no knocking them out. There is no stunning them until they just stop. No, she has to kill them because they can overpower her. So every character she comes upon, she kills them either with an axe or a bunch of plates, or just overall throughout the entire film. She loves grenades. She blows up so many people inside of this film, lights them on fire and such. It's all so cool to me. The film also brings back the personal stakes and revenge to the universe. John Wick 2 had that feeling, but not as effective as 1, and 3 and 4 kind of went in a different direction here. They kind of left the personal behind, and I think that's one of the reasons why those films are lower on my list than the first film, because it is very much, at the beginning, was always a very personal story about a man taking revenge on people who killed his puppy. That wasn't just a puppy, it was the living embodiment and the last gift that his wife left for him once she passed away. That's as personal as any story gets, and I think yeah, they brought that back inside of this film. While it's not as emotional, as personal as that first film, it is also effective. The story is familiar, but it's powerful enough because you feel how personal it is, and its conclusion is satisfying and, like I said before, effective. Ballerinas are very similar to Black Widow, so I think this film is like that but better. And I think that if Disney wasn't over Marvel, this is the type of film that Marvel would have made if they wanted to make a Black Widow film. Ballerinas felt very similar to Black Widows, and without all the brainwashing. They are very much in control of their own actions. But I just really love the idea that, yeah, this is the type of movie that Marvel probably would have been able to make for Black Widow if they weren't underneath Disney. So I'm glad that we got a Lionsgate version of it. I'm glad we got a version of it inside the John Wick universe. Lastly here, I want to talk about John Wick's presence in the film. A lot of people will probably go into it thinking that it's a John Wick 4.5. It's not a John Wick 4.5. His presence is in the movie. He's in there. I love the fact that they make it very clear that he is the Baba Yaga for 2, 3, and 4. A lot of people just been coming up to John Wick like he's not the Baba Yaga, as if he's not the most feared man in the universe, unlike in that first film. Inside of this film, all of the ballerinas are like whispering, oh my god, that's him. And there are also various henchmen who are like, what are we doing? It's John Wick. And I just love the fact that they bring back that fear to John Wick, and also just how much of a presence that he is, how menacing he is in the night, and you don't see him coming. All you see is this long-haired, tall guy in a suit. And that's scary in and of itself. When there's a fight scene inside of this film with our new character and John Wick, and when I say there is nothing you can do against John Wick, there is nothing you can do against John Wick, man. But again, going back to my original point, John Wick is not in the movie that much, but he does have a role to play, and he does have a big presence here, and I love the fact that he's here. It's not all about John Wick. It's definitely about our new character, in which she has most of the screen time. The story's about her, but it's also very nice, and it adds a little bit more context to the rest of the universe, just having John Wick there. With that being said, let's move right into the mixed. And the mixed thing that comes to mind here, these are not necessarily good things or bad things. These are just things that I want to talk about. So the story gets a little bit generic here. I've seen this story multiple times. Everyone has seen this type of story multiple times because it is very much a revenge story. It's all dependent on how it's handled, and I think they handled it pretty well. I think the subplot here is kind of interesting, but it's not explored. There's a subplot dealing with children getting kidnapped and everything like that, and that's why I say it's a little bit similar to Black Widow. And lastly, for the first 20 minutes of the film, I was waiting for the plot to kick in, but after it does, I think it's a bonkers ride, and you will definitely know when the movie finally kicks in. And when it does, it is so much fun. I literally said and sat up in my seat and said, oh shit, once the action scene happened. In conclusion, Ballerina could have been a weird, soulless spin-off, replacing John Wick's character with a woman. Fortunately, they do a pretty good job. I should have expected this. I should have expected it to be good. I didn't expect it to be this good. It goes personal, bringing back the revenge plot to the franchise. John Wick has a presence, but Ana de Armas is the star and lead of this film with class and very explosive action. It's action-packed from the first 20 minutes all the way throughout, with explosions and flamethrowers and guns and knives, so many knives and plates and axes. I love the fact that this character is not an up-close and personal fighter. She's a resourceful fighter, as in she'll pick up a hammer and just turn it into a weapon, or she'll pick up a hanger and turn it into a weapon, some ice skates and turn it into a weapon. I thought all of that was pretty fun. I'm going to give Ballerina an A+ and a 9.1 out of 10. And I would say go watch this film. It is an incredible watch. Probably my second favorite John Wick film. Alright guys, that is it for the review. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion, and you are free to comment down below. What did you think of John Wick's Ballerina? Please don't forget to check out that Twitter and that TikTok link. Those are in the description. And with all that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace.